time for quali. Time for us to see what these drivers are going to be able to do. Time for us to see how real this, up until this point, 3/10, even more so being a bit more less than 3/10 in FP3, how real that is. Of course, Ferrari, McLaren looking good. Wanted to see how realized that's going to be. So there's a lot of questions that can be answered in qualifying today. I don't think, even if they are back to business, which Red Bull is completely back to business, it doesn't look the same as of yet. Now, whether that changes in qualifying, we'll have to see. So, I'm your host, Jay. This is Wolfpack Performance. This is the hottest live show channel for F1 Minute on Mondays. The F1 Minute talk show involves you all in the content creation. It is 1:47 Eastern Standard Time in the morning, in the great morning, my time. So how are you all doing? Mary Beanie, I already knew it. Good morning. Knew she would be popping tall, be with me today, as I am not a lone wolf ever. So nice to see Mary Beanie right there. We're going to look at some of these results coming up for FP1, FP2, and even FP3. Shortly here soon, we'll be bringing up the boards and the timing for qualifying and going right into that. So just stay tuned for that. Also, Lewis Hamilton, probably, like literally, in my opinion, the hottest helmet this season. That helmet is hot. That helmet is like super hot. So probably the hottest helmet this season. I'm going to have to give Alfa Romeo the hottest livery this season, although McLaren definitely was in contention for that because of the things that they've, McLaren have come out with some hot liveries like this season. And even I got to give the Williams team a bit of, some kudos for joining that in Silverstone. They came out with a pretty fire livery. I'm really not feeling this. It's okay. It's not really hot to me. I think probably they could have done a bit better with the scheme of the livery, although I like the colors they incorporated because I've been waiting to see them incorporate those golf colors into the car. I just don't think they did it. I don't think they did it as punchy as they could have. I'll say that. I think they could have did a lot better job with it. And that's the reason why it's not really ranking high in comparison to the McLaren, in comparison to the Williams, the first one done in Silverstone, and definitely in comparison to the Alfa Romeo, which right now I'm saying is the hottest livery that we've seen thus far. So waiting to see if another team does that. But as of right now, Lewis does hold the hottest helmet this season. And that's pretty hard because Lando's last helmet in Singapore, I believe, that was pretty nice. That Galaxy one, that one was pretty nice. But this one right here, especially with the LED strip, it's like cold. That's cold. It's too cold. So right now, we really don't even have a lot of documents to go over. It's been a pretty genuine weekend, although, and I do have the questions for quality kickback trivia, so we will be doing that. Although a pretty good weekend, a lot of talk about the penalty, which we talked about here, and so many people jumped into, the live chat about, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you're being a hater. No, evidently there's been a lot of talk. What's up, DG Big Blue Navy? Hoorah. There's been a lot of talk about the FIA not issuing penalties, and specifically to Max Verstappen, because we've seen him get away with penalties, or we've seen penalties issued to Max, and it really doesn't affect them. And it seems like we're not the only one. Team principals and drivers want to know why this is the case. Why did one guy, or why did several other people get grid penalties for this same infraction, and yet this guy doesn't get a grid penalty? And they want to know, and they've had meetings, and supposedly they are all on board with this. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that, but definitely let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this real quick. So if we take a look at this, and we'll hold up FP1, definitely I expected to see Max Verstappen back at the top. I expected to see Red Bull probably want to run away with things this weekend. Sainz leading Leclerc up until that point in FP1, but as we proceed and go into FP2, here we'll see this is when Gasly brought out the red flag. That turn 9 is a doozy. It was happening with cars all day definitely, I'm pretty sure several cars incurred floor damage. Gasly getting the very blunt of that and running track limits very fine and ended up in the wall. Hey, it is what it is. They probably need to extend it a little bit more, but I do like the turf involved. But if you see right there, Leclerc still leading Sainz. Sainz not quite coming alive here in Japan as he was in Singapore. So I'm starting to wonder, is it a possibility that Leclerc is going to have his opportunity to get on podium, or maybe could we see a 2-3 podium from Ferrari? Now, we do know when Mercedes gets in the mix on actual race day. What's going on, Maria Duncan? I see you, Galacticus, Insure Frames, DG Big Blue, and Maria. Mary Beanie popping in first, being here. So I do know, you know, when we see Mercedes in actual race pace, they seem to be that second team. Although I guess they wouldn't technically own that title. I guess nobody wants to own being second, but second fastest team. But today, it seems like McLaren in FP3. Now, do take note, in FP3, Lando was there. FP1, FP2, Lando was there consistently. FP1, Lando's third on the charts in the final runnings. FP2, Lando was third in the charts. Pia 8, and Pia brings himself down just one position. But when we get to FP3, getting closer to this qualifying that we're about to watch, McLaren are in the 2 and the 3 spot. And this has been a team this season that has bought 2 major packages, you know, deeming them the updates galore team. Just recently in Singapore, bringing about 9 updates to that car and possibly more this time. I will check the charts later. But they are definitely looking like upgrades. Now these 2 McLaren drivers tied together, coupled together in 2 and 3, right into FP3, getting ready to go into quali. So Pia is my rookie, and he is doing well. Logan Sargent is fighting for his life. Although 2 spots above Albon in FP3, that was not the case going to FP1 and FP2, and it surely has not been the case in the race. We will see what happens. So just keep mind that McLaren are fighting to come alive in this back half of the season. And we're going to see what they're going to be able to do with it. We're going to see how much they can extrapolate from these updates, the rest of these tracks, the rest of these circuits. How well will this car perform at the remainder of the circuits? We still have 2 United States GPs and COTA happening next month, and then the Vegas one happening. So we'll see what they do at those tracks, okay? But then we look at Perez, who now has the new updated floor, or the new floor. We'll say that. He didn't have the new floor in FP1. They gave him the new floor in FP2. He was still roughly a second behind Verstappen. Now probably getting the car a little bit more dialed in, still 7/10 behind his teammate, supposedly in the same car. Very controversial if that is actually the case. I think there's a case of debate either way. I think there's also a case of debate whether Perez himself is the type of driver that can do that, but not a very good situation. Not the worst situation, not a very good situation. Lewis Hamilton and Russell, 7 and 8. I don't think the car was set up well for Lewis in the beginning phases of free practice. Seems like FP3 came back around. Insure Frame says let me go on screen when I say, if McLaren being second fastest verifies big if, the big question of Merc needs to be asked. Benchmarkers to front runners with 2 upgrade packages or update packages. Come on. The question would need to be asked also. I think this question would also need to be asked. We also have another example of Alonso at Aston Martin, Mercedes power units, also Mercedes parts on that vehicle, on that car in the earlier part of this season, doing extremely well to the point where now Alonso has 7 podiums. Lance, not so well. And sometimes that's my mirror match to also debate the other way with Perez, as far as maybe Perez is the problem, because we clearly know Lance is the problem at Aston Martin. Lance is the one who has not done as well as Alonso has, and he should. because we know he's not getting slighted. There's all types of controversial situations in the air about Red Bull, Perez, especially the treatment and disrespect of him. So I can see that. But the Aston Martin is my evidence to say that maybe it is Perez. Now here it is. We come two very good upgrades, as Insured Frames is saying, with McLaren and coming in 2 and 3. But still, there's another big question to be asked. What will we see on the race? What will we see here in qualifying? We all know free practice, it matters, right? It matters. It matters because they're going to dial these cars in and we're going to get to see how much progress they make through these 2 days of practice and then leading into the day of qualifying. So let's say we come out of this race, and I will say this, if we come out of this race and McLaren can land a double podium, there has to be a question. They're the customer team. They're not the works team. They're the customer team. So how will it look then? And we do know that Mercedes was extremely in the wrong direction when it came to car design for 2 seasons in a row. We do know that. Now just turning that corner. So, of course, although Mercedes, the better and stronger team of development, Mercedes was also, along with Ferrari, the most egregious in the terms of the incorrect philosophy applied to this new generation of cars. So we'll see. But if McLaren come out with a double podium or even Norris on another podium and Mercedes is completely off podium, then we'll definitely have to ask that question, like, what is Mercedes going to have to do to rectify this situation or climb themselves out of this hole that they indeed dug themselves into? They didn't listen to their 7-time world champion in Lewis Hamilton. They didn't listen to him. He told them that this was not the car. He's driven several championship cars for him, and I'm pretty sure Lewis felt like this is not the right direction. We need to abandon it, and they didn't. They stuck with it, and they've wasted 2 more seasons of his life. All right, another area of interest, and if you pay attention, just like I said, look at Alonso. Alonso trying to utilize as much track as possible in that Aston and was unable to pull himself up further up the chart, still in the top 10, but where's Stroll? Stroll is over there at 19th, about to be catfishing. He's about to be catfishing. And I said this earlier, Aston Martin would have been doing themselves a favor by at least throwing Felipe in FP2. If you want to ride with Lance, ride with him. If you want to ride till the ship sinks, by all means, Lawrence, be the captain of the Titanic and sink with the ship. But at least be a good businessman and provide your company, provide your team a little bit of insurance by at least having Felipe eligible to race on race day. Give him FP2, give Lance FP1, FP3, and even qualifying, damn it. But leave your team the ability that if Lance can't go, or you finally come to your damn senses that he shouldn't be going anymore, the ability to put Felipe Drugovich, FP2 champion, F2 champion in the car. And they're not doing that. Again, here we come with another race day, and they're not gonna be able to utilize Felipe in this event. It's too late. So then we'll also look at Yuki and Lawson. Yuki leading Lawson in FP3. We'll see what happens in qualifying. Lawson has been here before. He has competed here before. He will probably compete here again, I think, in Super Formula. I don't know if they came here already or they will be coming here, but he'll be here. But he does have good knowledge of the track, comfortable with the track in that series. He's going to have to get comfortable with the track in this Formula One car, but he's been doing that. If you notice in FP3, he's right there in 17th. I'm not saying that that's extremely all-time great, but we're talking about a rookie coming in. He's 4 races in now. His 3rd race, he brought points. If you go to FP2, Lawson 15. You go to FP1, Lawson in 9th. So I would say that's pretty good. I like what I'm seeing from Lawson. So I'm going to get ready to get us started here shortly. We're going to get ready to get our boards up so we can go ahead and start having a very good quality. We're going to have quality kickback trivia today. Somebody's going to have the opportunity to win a $25 or a $50 gift card. So that's going to be a good time as always. So you know, get your tablets ready, get your phones ready, get whatever it is that you need to get ready in order to be competitive in quality kickback trivia. How many phones you need, how many laptops you need, whatever you need, get it prepared. All right. I'm about to get us prepared so we can watch qualifying and have a good time today. I really do appreciate everybody who's joining us right now, as it is, like I said, 2 a.m., 201 hours Eastern Standard Time, and I am up and popping and excited about being here with you. And as you see, we do have cars on track right now. AlphaTauri is right there on track. We're going to see what happens with Yuki. It's been very unfortunate for him. Very unfortunate. DG Big Blue, there we go. We all know Lawrence is not giving up Lance's seat. Deja vu. So either that's deja vu or that is just the bull shenanigans that we would wish wouldn't continue to happen. So deja vu, because I thought I've seen this before, and when it happened my phone rang, but it was silent, so I didn't get the call. So I'm going to turn my ringer on just in case. I do have family flying about doing all types of things. So DG Big Blue, that's the big question, right? We want to know, like, what's going on? Like, what is he going to do? So as you see right there, we do have several drivers right now in the drop-off area. To start with, we got Yuki, Hulk, the entire Williams team, and Gasly. Ocon not far out of that. Ocon having a very unfortunate situation. Nobody really right now is on the hottest lap running anything. We do know whatever AlphaTauri sticks will not stick. And it looks like Lawson is going to be first to come across that line. And as you see right there, boom, top of the charts, but that will not last long. We're going to have other drivers coming out of those pits. As we see, majority of the field is in the pits. So, you know, Stroll run it up. We don't expect to see him there much, so we'll see what happens. Also, a nice situation with Lewis and Esteban with their RC cars in pit lane. I thought it was really impressive that Lewis was still using an 8-channel radio to control his car. Mary Beanie says, am feeling good about quali. Merc, next big update is Brazil. Papa Stroll wise up. Get Felipe Drugovich in that seat. Lewis's helmet is lit. Quali started. Yes, Lewis's helmet is very lit. That is the tightest helmet we've seen this season. This season, that's the tightest helmet we've seen. So we'll see what happens there. As you see, Lawson getting ready to complete Sector 3, falls short right now. Stroll popping to the top. Lawson has a few more segments in his Sector 3. We're going to see what happens when he closes this out and where he will be in order in regards to that. We do have several. Lawson goes back to the top of the charts. We do have several drivers now getting ready to pit out. We got Max. We got Team Red Bull, Team Mercedes, Team Haas, and Team McLaren getting ready to head on out. So we can go ahead and see, well, Team McLaren is still in pit. So our pit will stop with Gasly, and Ocon and Haas will be out there and on track very soon. We'll see what they end up doing. Right there, hopefully Gasly doesn't do this. Now he's going to be pushing quite a bit more hard in quali than he was FP2. And then hopefully K-Mag doesn't do that. We don't want to see him doing that. He's been kind of having a rough season as well, but some of the season has been by his own doing. Versus Yuki has been out of his control. The last couple of races, Yuki has had mechanical failures or failures, things that have been out of his control. Earlier, K-Mag, he felt impeded. Yuki felt he impeded him. So we'll see how much of that actually goes on and who actually will get a penalty this quali session for impeding. Let's see, Lawson, nothing much happening right now. You know, everybody's kind of get warmed up. Max actually is on track. He's about to complete his third sector. Let's see what he's going to do. I don't expect anything less but for him to pop to the top of the chart. We see that Williams is going pit out. Ferrari is still in the pits. Bottas is still in the pit. We got a few more segments for Verstappen to complete this. We want to see where he goes. Now, we do know last time in Singapore, Lawson is the driver that kicked Max out and got him booted in Q2. Max did not make it to Q3. Max's time right there, nothing happens. I don't think that was going to be his real outlap. I'm pretty sure he was probably getting his tires warmed up, and he's going to get ready to give it a go now, as we see more purple than we see green or yellow. So we know Max Verstappen, what he typically does here. The car does look good here. It does not look like Max is struggling with the setup or the track this time around. So I do expect to see a pretty strong showing. Now, what I do want to know, the question I want to answer is, are we going to see a consistent 2 to 3 tenths gap from Max in the second car and back, or are we about to see an increased amount of gap, given that it is quali and we know Max can lay down some hot laps outside Singapore? I do think also that the Singapore situation says a little bit about Max too. I think it says that Max was unable as a driver to overcome that adversity or that challenge, where we've seen other drivers do so in subpar machinery, bring the car up, get the podiums. Max was unable to do that. But I will say also, we've seen that telltale at times too, when Max is not at the front, and we've also seen Max come back from a very nice deficit. But I will say, when it comes to this tire situation, Max has not performed well. All right. When we had the 2 ATAs, it was Lewis Hamilton and Carlos that collected pole. When we ran into a situation in Singapore where tire challenges were pretty high, Max and Red Bull failed and he did not succeed then. Although in those last 2 challenges, he was able to come out of not getting pole and still come back to win the race. Singapore, he could not do so. So there's a couple of things that could be posed as big questions, and that is, are the rest of the teams catching up? So I want to know, is this gap going to persist? Right now, we see 7 tenths between Max Verstappen and his own teammate and Sergio Checo Perez, who was deemed Minister of Defense. At this point in time, I don't think we can deem Checo Minister of Defense because he can't even defend himself from the constant racial, cultural, or disrespectful attacks from Helmut Marko. It's real cheesy. I think it's real jellyfish-like, so kind of not, I'm not supportive of what we've been seeing from Perez when it comes to that. Lando popping up to number 2. So now we finally have a McLaren car joining the top 3. Will Pia in 10 go ahead and bring that car up? Also take note, Mercedes 4 and 5 right now. Okay, 4 and 5. So now we want to see, as this goes on, we do know that when the 5 or 4 minute mark appears on that clock that you see in your top left-hand corner by the Japan flag, a lot of these drivers from especially the top teams and other teams will start coming into the pits, making some fine-tune adjustments, resetting, putting other tires on, going back out to improve these times. We're going to see what happens with that. 4, 5, and 6 for Mercedes, 2 and 3 for Pia up in 3rd right now. 2 and 3 filled by McLaren, just as it was at FP3. Will they be able to continue that? And look at that time, nearly only 2 tenths off. 1 tenth right there. Max Verstappen joining that turn 9 is a doozy. Floor damage is something that will happen there if these drivers are not careful. And we have already seen, and this is with any car, but we've seen it with the Red Bull car too. If that car has side pod or floor damage, it brings itself back into possibly being attacked by the other teams and leaves it very exposed. Leclerc is on his hot lap. Oh my gosh, who in the hell is that? Please tell me. I don't want it to be Albon, but if that is Logan Sargent, I don't want it to be him either. But that is a Williams car. And if that Williams car is Logan Sargent, hot damn, we talked about this. Oh my good. This is Logan Sargent again. This is Logan Sargent again. Will, somebody find me Will. This is Will's rookie. Logan Sargent. We've talked about this, man. Damn it. Logan Sargent is out of Q1 all damn ready. Already. This man is making it hard for a team that has legitimately been trying to give him every opportunity not to can his ass, not to damn sack his ass. And Logan Sargent is doing his best to make that difficult for them. He is out of qualifying already with 9 minutes still left on the clock. That means we're halfway through. Logan Sargent makes it hard on his pit crew, makes it hard on his mechanics by crashing the car. This is beginning to be an indictment on this man's ability and his talent as a Formula One driver. How much more damage? Right now, Logan Sargent has probably busted through $3 million of damage that he's going to cause. Oh my. This is the most recent American on the grid. Insured Frame says Williams' accounting team are pissed at Logan. They are. They are definitely. They're working overtime right now. Listen, did I not say it? Logan Sargent is embodying Crash Tiffy 2.0. And people said I was going too far. This man, oh my, what must we do, bro? What must we do? Baku. See, oh my. I'm just saying, hold up. Because I gotta have it. I gotta have it here. I'm just telling you, I gotta have it here. This, where is this? It's trash like Logan Sargent is being trash. Let me find this damn note I made. I made a damn note somewhere. And Logan Sargent is all on that note as far as the bull shenanigans that he's been doing. Logan Sargent is really making it so damn hard for us to embrace him as the most recent American driver on the grid. This man is ridiculously doing horrible. And I don't mean that by any shorts. He is doing absolutely horrible right now. And I'm not even afraid to say it. These are shenanigans. These are shenanigans. We have a red flag. We're being postponed this early in the morning. Q1 can't even get done without Logan Sargent wrecking up this car. As you see, that right there, I believe, was Albon taking on probably floor damage and reporting that definitely has to be damaged on that vehicle. Here it is, Logan Sargent. I mean, you can count up. This is probably going to be Logan Sargent's 7th time doing something like this. It's not good, people. This is not a good situation for him. It's already being talked about. You know, if I start talking about it, there might be something to it. If the grid and Formula One talk heads, journalists, pundits start talking about it, it's definitely being chattered amongst the paddock. This man is fighting. Logan Sargent, being the man, not the man, like the man, literally is fighting for his job. I already talked to you all earlier when we did the other live yesterday that this has now become an environment where rookies are going to be expected to perform like right now. We want you to perform right now. Look at what Liam Lawson is doing for AlphaTauri. 3rd race, he's bringing home points. Look what Oscar Piastri's doing for McLaren. Yeah, we had Nick DeVries, but hey, it happened. Maybe they should have gave him a little bit more time. We would have seen, who knows. Look at what Logan Sargent is doing. He's making a case against himself, similar to what Sean Payton is doing against Russell Wilson, that when the time comes and they have the ability to grab another driver, because there are 2 drivers out there that Williams might want to start looking into. That's Felipe and Lawson. You might want to start looking into those 2 drivers right now, because Albon is already showing you what your team and your car's capabilities are. And Albon has brought 20-plus points home for Williams, while Logan, no Sargent ass, is just wrecking up cars. And he takes a horrible line through that turn. As we were looking on his own board, you can look and see, like, where's your line? What are you doing? Mary Beanie says, well, your Sarge needs to go. This is too much. I'm telling you, somebody find Will. Logan makes Williams wish they want with Mick. Y'all know. It makes them wish they want with Mick. They wish they just might. I mean, they're not going to get Mick. I don't think Mercedes want to give up Mick. And I don't think Mick wants to go to Williams, but I definitely am sure that Liam would be appreciative of that, because I think now that he's gotten his taste of Formula One, he wants to have an opportunity. And Williams right now is proving to be a team where you can make a pretty good resume for yourself. Many of us have talked about Albon. Is he going to stay at Williams? I think he should, because of the environment. But it's another thing that if Albon's ability is ready for a more progressive team, some of you have even said Ferrari. Logan couldn't even bring it across the finish line, bro. That's where he ends up going. DJ Big Blue, Mary Beanie, Inshore Frames, big shout out to everybody joining in the chat. We are here with 9 minutes roughly remaining in Q1. Winds 11.5 kilometers an hour due west. Track temps 37 degrees Celsius. Air temp is 26.3 degrees Celsius. Humidity is 47%. Now, it is no rain right now, but I've also told you all before, and I was right when I called it. I probably should have went to school to be a meteorologist, because even if they're wrong, they could just blame it on some high or low pressure system and it just explains it away. But if we see that humidity keep ticking up, especially if it takes a considerable jump, like let's say 9%, takes a jump of 9 or 10%, there's quite possibility that we see rain. Now, this to us, I think right now in the past few seasons, is a very rare Japanese GP as far as the weather's concerned. The weather has been very cooperative with us this weekend. DJ Big Blue, everybody else, we'll see what's going to go on. Right now, we're in a holding pattern, waiting to touch back down on the runway so we could take off and experience more of this. So we will not start quality kickback trivia right now. We're going to start quality kickback trivia shortly. And in quality kickback trivia, you need to know you have to answer with a super chat, all right? So I can see it. I'm not going to sit here and try to see everything else. And as a matter of fact, YouTube has given me a new tool to where I can only see those, and makes it even easier for me to keep track of who comes in first to get the answer and the point. So we will start that between Q1 and Q2 when we go onto that break, if we get there. DG Big Blue says, thank goodness William kept Logan in the old car. Yes, and think about it. Think about it. That's an indictment on him. They don't want to waste money throwing away new updated parts. On top of throwing them away, they're not getting any data from it because Logan's wrecking it up. That should also tell him something. As much as they say James Vowles is supportive of him and been very defensive of him, that tells you inside the camp how they view him. Like, we're not doing that. We're not giving this guy parts to go out here and wreck him up. We don't want to waste any more money than we're already wasting, or that he's already wasted, on new parts when we need to develop them. Albon is that driver. They know consistently Albon's going to bring the car home. Consistently, Albon's going to push the limits of this car and at least put it somewhere in the top 10. Consistently, Albon's been bringing these points home. And remember what I said, if Williams can start bringing more points home better than not, or more so than not this season, they are on their way. And they have done that by way of Albon, not by Logan Sargent. But still, that tells us that the car has the capability, the team has the capability. James Vowles is proving to be a very critical point in Williams and their pivotal turn. So it's going to be game time. 083 says Logan was promoted too early from F2. I agree with that too, because his F2 career wasn't much to be marveled into. Has to share this because they made the decision in bringing him into F1. And you're right about that. You're right. 083, you're absolutely right that Williams have to be responsible for their decision. But also, Williams gave him the opportunity to do something with, and now it is completely in his hands. All we can say is, Williams, you chose this guy. But after they chose him, they gave him everything they could give him. They gave him a car that he should be able to do things with, and now it's up to him. We're not looking at Williams like Haas. We're not looking at Williams like one of these other teams that is unable to assist the driver and do what they can to try to assist that driver in tools, time, sim, to bring him about so that he can progress in his talent and his ability. That's not the case with Williams. So at this point in time, it's all on Logan Sargent. Like, the bigger, if we had a pie and we had to divvy up this pie, I'm not going to do any more than 70-30 split. 70% on Logan Sargent, 30% on Williams. 30%, you brought him in. 70% is on Logan Sargent. It's not Williams who's crashing Logan Sargent into the wall. It's not Williams who's making these illegitimate racing lines. It's not Williams who's making these horrible decisions to run up the back of somebody in Australia and crash them and yourself out. Logan Sargent is making those decisions. So if there's a split, and you're completely right, 083, you're completely right, fam. But if there's a split, it's a 70-30 split for me. Right now, track is cleared up. The time has not started. That means they've gotten debris off. They've gotten the car off. Fortunately, a lot of that debris probably broke up off track, which means less cleaning for them and we can get back on. So right now, winds picked up another 2 mile an hour. If you see right there, 13.3 due west. So if those winds pick up, there is going to be some drivers unhappy with the car's balance in and out of some of these turns. Also, track temp 36.9, air temp 26. I think that's a drop from last time. Humidity is the same. We have no rain. So right now we are clear to go environmental wise. Let's see what these drivers can do. Not even out of Q1. We look at how much time we wasted. Sylvia Wick Kelly. I like what Insure Frame said. Logan gonna be delivering Uber Eats next. Facts. Oh man, as horrible as that is, it's accurate. It is very accurate. That's probably the best. I'm not going to say that's the best thing he could do. Logan Sargent can probably go into another, ISMA or something like that. Maybe call up Andretti and get a seat doing something else, right? Formula E, Extreme E, something. But F1 is about to be done with Logan Sargent. I'm going to be very surprised and very inquisitive if Williams bring Logan Sargent back next season. I'm going to raise an eyebrow at that, like, what are you doing? Is that really what you want to do? Do you want to do a Mercedes type situation? And when I say a Mercedes type situation, I mean make a bad decision 2 seasons in a row. Because if you bring Logan Sargent back, that's exactly what you're doing. You're making a bad decision 2 seasons in a row. We have no reason to think otherwise. Same thing we thought about the W13. We have no reason to think otherwise that the W14, if you stay that course, is going to be any better. And that was the case. So if Williams want to do that, I guess they feel free. The clock is now ticking, 8 minutes, 13 seconds right there on the clock. Max Verstappen right now at the top of the boards, along with the Papaya team. Don't forget, Kickback Quality Trivia will start between Q1 and Q2. I do not have a honey bun this morning as it is 2:23 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, a bit too early to eat a honey bun. So I will go through this entire quality hungry and eat something later. Yes. And also Perez 4th, Mercedes 5 and 6. So right now, Ferrari is on track. Leclerc has no time set. We're going to look to see what Ferrari's going to be able to do after he gets these tires warmed up on this lap. I'm pretty sure he'll take that next flyer and really go into it, launch into it. 6th, 4th, 9th, 3rd, and 3rd right there for Charles Leclerc. Let's see what also Sainz is going to do. We want to see if Sainz is coming off a very successful Singapore GP weekend with a race win, with a very solid showing and qualifying in the FP sessions going through. This time in Japan, not so much for Carlos. Carlos hasn't been as strong as Leclerc has been. So I want to know if Leclerc's going to start shining here in Japan and maybe Carlos has a struggle or two. But still, I do believe Carlos has been a better driver throughout the season, and I do still have the opinion at this point in time, although not cemented, that Carlos is the #1 driver for Ferrari by off merit. Electronic Cornbread. I have F1 quality on TV muted with Wolfpack audio coming through my speakers. The future of F1 TV, highly recommended. That is some dope shit right there. That's dope shit. That is probably one of the most nicest compliments I've received by somebody telling me they literally have F1 TV on, but me as the commentary. I really do appreciate that, Electronic Cornbread. Big shout out to you, brother. Let me just give you some GOAT status in the chat right there, man. That right there is a very nice and welcomed compliment, man. I really do appreciate that. I'm very passionate about what I do and passionate about being here. So big shout out to you, man. A big contributor in the fam as well. So let's see right here. Coming around that turn that has definitely done some drivers in coming up in that turn 9. It could be a doozy. We've seen it be a doozy. Logan Sargent didn't even need it to be a doozy. He just doozied it himself. As you see right there, Perez kicking up some of that turf. We want to see if somebody else ends up out there in turf land. K-Mag joined turf land, went to the Turfland Amusement Park and kicked it up as well. Ooh, Leclerc almost right there, kind of exceeding track, almost, but not. If it doesn't count, if it's not, he almost, that means he's pushing the limits of the track, trying to get as much time as he can, trying to keep that steering wheel as straight as he can and keep that car pointed much forward as he can. And right now, looking very good. Now, looks can be deceiving. We're going to need to see what he does coming across. Right there. There you go. There you go. Leclerc. Third up there, Sainz fifth, splitting up that papaya team right there, splitting them up, breaking it up. Ferrari says, yes, we want some of that top team pie. We want to be at the top. Ferrari splitting up the papaya boys. I'm calling them papaya boys because they doing that good. It's the Ferrari boys. I'm going to have to just call them the papaya team. I deemed Ferrari the Ferrari boys a long time ago, and I kind of let them rent that back because they've been doing good thus far. Hopefully, Japan is not a place where we're going to see Ferrari return to the mean that we've known them to be and just fall flat on their fucking face and give it all up, all right? I hope that's not the case. I really do. I'm hoping they continue on with what they've been doing. A race win by Carlos is looking very good. This right now, this showing in the early stages of qualifying stages is looking very good. I want to see this continue. I want to see Mercedes get in the mix. I want there to be a full-out battle. That battle that we got to see in Singapore was absolutely welcomed and absolutely a breath of fresh air to see. Top teams, different cars involved in trying to collect that first stop, that top step on the podium, and several other teams different than Red Bull this season. And people need to understand something. There are a lot of us that aren't about just seeing the dominance of Red Bull ending. I'm one of them. I'm not out to just see the dominance of Red Bull end. What I am about is seeing multiple teams involved in a dogfight for those 3 steps on the podium. That's what I'm into seeing. I'm into seeing a highly competitive environment. And my only knock, like I've said it many times before, and I'm going to say it again, my only knock with it, well, let me not say my only knock. Let me be a little bit, let me be, because I just thought about it myself. It's not my only knock. But my only knock as far as track performance on Red Bull is they cheated to get where they are. And that's the thought of many. And that's why you see such a dampening and such much rebellion against the success of Red Bull, is because people know you cheated to get to where you are. And when that's involved in the ingredients of your success pie, nobody's going to like the taste of it. Some people are not going to even like the smell of it to even get a slice of pie, to even taste it. And that's only Red Bull's fault. That's part of the FIA's fault. So that is what it is until it is not. And right now, I just want to see more teams mixed in. That's it. Just see a more competitive environment. And I think we all enjoyed, except for, even I think real Max Verstappen fans, legitimate Max Verstappen fans with even-minded brain probably still enjoyed Singapore, although they didn't see their team on the top step. They probably thought that sucked, but they probably enjoyed the fact that they got to see a highly competitive race, more so competitive than we've seen this season. And, of course, they'll be right back to form this week. But, hey, I thought it was good. I'm hoping that 2024 is more so like that, and we'll see what happens. Definitely see what happens. So right now, Max Verstappen still at the top. Papaya, Ferrari mixed in there. Perez just sinking further back. Now, Thanos said this. Now, remember Thanos said this shit. He said it. That his prediction was as teams, the top teams, Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, start to come alive, there are better drivers in those seats that are being dampened by their car's position at this point in time, that when these teams come online, Perez will be pushed back. So Thanos' premise was Perez is where he is because other drivers can't be in that seat that he's in. And right now, in this qualifying session that's roughly about to have only a minute left and we're about to start quality kickback trivia, it's looking like Thanos was pretty valid in his opinion, and his opinion might indeed become a statement of fact. We're going to see, especially next season, maybe even through the course of the rest of this season. But still, there might be some room in there to say, what kind of car does Perez really have? Right. And that's all conspiracy or debate, but not all, because we know that Several parts on Perez's car are parts that we've known that they've admitted to are not the same as Max's, and maybe there are older parts on there that they don't have to claim on the updates sheet. So we'll see what happens, and that'll be a story to be told one day, hopefully. I don't even know if Perez has the gumption to tell that story. At this point in time, I don't have any confidence in Perez to put his chest out and stand up straight. I don't. I think it's pretty embarrassing what he's allowed to go on without really rebuttaling it or standing against it. Valtteri just outside the top 10. Russell and Hamilton right there capping off the top 10. Hamilton falling to 11th. And Gasly outside of Ocon in the top 10 at 7. And K-Mag joining the top 10 at 9th. And Liam Lawson, old Mr. Law, right there in 9th in the top 10. I'm telling you this. If Lawson comes away from Suzuka with more points, I have to question, what in the hell were AlphaTauri thinking by signing Danny Rick? Like, you got this guy in the garage and you're still going to sign Danny Rick? I hope that it was a situation and Lynn was like, I don't want that seat. I got other options available to me. I hope that's it. Right there, the clock is zeroed out. Drivers are going to start completing their final out laps. Although Alonso seeming to kind of struggle with the track, has done better than Stroll. 15 and 16 is where Aston Martin is. Stroll may very well be on his way out. Let's see what he's going to end up doing. I don't think he does much. Alonso puts a more bit of a gap between him and his teammate. And oh my gosh, the man who kicked Max Verstappen out of Q2 in Singapore is in the top 5, ending the Q1 session. Lawson is putting himself together a pretty nice resume, I may say, good sir. Go ahead with your bad self, Lawson. Lay down the law, because there is no sergeant out there that's going to command you do otherwise. That sergeant has just been demoted to private, and I'm talking about Private Gomer Gump. I'm talking about him. You're Gump all day long. Let's see what other drivers are going to do as they come through and kind of finish things out. Right now, drop-off zone. Stroll is in there. Valtteri and Zhou as a team together are in there. Logan Sargent just gifted K-Mag. Well, no, I don't think he gifted anybody. I don't even think if Logan Sargent finished his Q1, he would be out of Q1. So he is exactly where he is. Now, typically I say when we see drivers have these incidents, they might have gifted somebody in, but Logan Sargent has gifted nobody. As we see Albon and Logan Sargent across the board in the speed trap zones at the top. Matter of fact, if you look down there, in the speed trap meter that we have, the board we have, Williams is all through there. 2 times in 1, 2 times in 2. Right there at the finish line, Sargent, and then again 2 times in the speed trap. The Williams car is fast. It should be doing better than that. But no, Logan Sargent, shenanigans, out there doing his foolery, wrecks the car, takes it away from him. Mary Beanie says, too much bloody traffic. I've TV on mute, just listening to you. Shout out my bestie. Keep awake. Quali going to get interesting. Go Yuki Lewis P10. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, Sylvia with Kelly, just stay awake. Just stay with us. Big shout out to Blue Diva, by the way. Blue Diva wanting to be here, unable to be here. Big shout out to Blue Diva. Definitely for, I think she's not going to be there. Also, when we have our Discord meet later on today, I will set that. Okay, so I will not forget when I get off here, I will go ahead, drum up the Discord meet and set that for a time today for us to get in there and talk about all this foolery that's going on. Hopefully Will would join us so he can explain. Pretty sure that he's going to talk to Logan Sargent. That's his rookie. So he's going to talk to Logan. Will's going to have a conversation with him. Will's going to come back to us and let us know what was Logan thinking, Will? What was going through his mind as he failed to make the line through that turn? What was going through his mind when he hit that wall and realized that he just exceeded probably $3 million worth of cost cap? I was about to say something else. Cost cap in 2023. What was he thinking? How does he feel about his job security right now? It can't be great. Can't be great. All right, so here we go. Quali Kickback Trivia officially is about to begin. I will show you the board and the times. We do not have anything to worry about right now. Time is 0. Track is clear. Q1 is over. Winds have again ticked up another notch. Humidity has ticked up 2 more notches. That is something to keep an eye on. Are we looking at possibly some adverse weather coming in? But right now, we're going to get to quality kickback trivia. Get to it. Insure Frame says you got to remember they got a massive, huge upgrade package in Singapore for AlphaTauri that we're seeing come to fruition here in Japan. Hey, and if it is, I'm definitely enjoying it, and that is something to also pay attention to. Not only McLaren, but also Williams. So let's go. Let's get your thumbs ready, get your phones ready, get your tablets ready. Will's not here. Baraka doesn't look like he's here. There's an opportunity for somebody completely new. Wildcat doesn't look like he's here. There's an opportunity for somebody who has not gotten an opportunity to get a $50 or $25 gift card to get one now. The big hitters that we know to be here and collected are not here. So here's the first question. It's going to be a gimme. The answer was given before. I wanted to start this off easy. Okay, so here we go. Which F1 constructor holds the record for the most constructors championships? This should be a gimme. We had this question before. I put it on there purposely to give you a good warming up. You know, before you work out, you got stretch, get your shoulders ready because you're going to hit that bench press. Here's a warm-up question. Going to give you an easy point. Who's going to collect it? Which F1 constructor holds the record for the most constructors championships? Who's going to get this money? Who's going to get this money? I'll say the question again. This question is such an easy one. I'm not giving you any hints. You should be able to get it. Matter of fact, if you're watching your TV, there it is, what it is right there. Which F1 constructor holds the record for the most constructors championships? Who is that constructor? Need to see it right now. Clock just reset. 15 minutes on the clock. Track is clear. Winds ticking up again. Just ticked down 5 degrees due west. Who is it going to be? Who's going to get the answer? Who's going to get the answer? Or somebody just going to leave this money on the table? You can leave it on the table. That's fine with me. You can leave the money on the table. Somebody can get it next time. Or you could take your opportunity to get this money because the hard hitters aren't here this early morning, as some of you are so much more devoted and ready to go. Electronic Cornbread, why don't you go ahead and get that money? Let's see. DJ Big Blue, Ferrari. DJ Big Blue decides I'm going to get on the board. Insure Frames comes in with Scuderia Ferrari. The entire technical name. Had Insure Frames came in sooner, he would have had that point. DJ Big Blue decides he's going to take the opportunity and get that point. So Big Blue, you are on the board for one. Insure Frames, you are just short, but not out, okay? That's only 1 point. You need 3 to win, and you can steal as many points as you can get. You just got to be first. We want to be fast here. Here's the next question. And I'm going to show you the board to let you know we are not missing anything as of yet. New drop-off zone is set. Clock is 15 minutes. It has not started ticking. The next question, here it is. What is the name of the device that is used to measure the speed of an F1 car? What is the name of the device that is used to measure the speed of the F1 cars? These are gimmies. I said it's going to be early in the morning. I got to start them off with some easy questions. This is too easy. I mean, it's too easy. It's too easy. Too easy. What is the device that is used to measure the speed of the Formula One cars? All right. Part of the answer is in the question. What is the device? What is the name of the device that is used to measure the speed of F1 cars? Who's going to get it? Right now, the clock just started ticking. Who's going to get this question before we go into Quali 2 and we wait to do more of Quality Kickback Trivia coming up? So DG Big Blue already has one. Is he going to go ahead and collect 2 points? Insured Frames could have had 1 point. Is he going to go ahead and collect that point and tie it up with DG Big Blue? What is the name of the device that is used to measure the speed of it? It's not a speedometer. No Formula One car has a speedometer on it. They're not, at least analog anyway. That's not it. I tell you what, the speed is in there. But if you look below that board is your answer. That board is your answer. It's not speedometer, but speed is in there. And if you were to try to go out and catch a wild animal, you would have to set some kind of what? You would have to set some kind of what to catch a wild animal. Sometimes, you know, if you were younger, you lived in the country, you know, you wanted to try to catch a bird or a rabbit, you go ahead and put the little box up there, put the stick up there, and, you know, if they come by and hit that stick, then they'd be what? P-tattoo. No, that's going to be what's used to measure incoming air force so they can get data off the air. P-tattoo sticks up, a little sensor, air runs into it, and then they get that from there. But we did have that one, I think, before, but that is a very, very good technical term to use because some people might not know what a P-tattoo is or what it does. But no, the speed is in there. I'm just telling you, I've already told you the answer. You can see it. It's right there in that second board that we have just below the tracking board that we have. The answer's right there in front of your face. I literally read it off earlier. Several teams, one team that populates that board. Come on, people. This is too easy. Is it too early in the morning for you? Go get some Speed Trap. DG Big Blue. 2 points up. That is the correct answer. It is the Speed Trap. Big Blue, 2 points. Listen, you all. Are y'all about to let DG Big Blue close this out? Because on Sunday, at finale lap, somebody's going to spin to possibly get $50. Baraka got $50. Electronic Cornbread comes in just a little too late. It is Speed Trap. That is the right answer. Right now, we got Max Verstappen. We are going to continue quality kickback trivia between Q2 and Q3. Right now, DG Big Blue is up 2. Somebody can come back like Free Dogs Flair has, win it all to get 3 points. Our DG Big Blue will close it out with a 1, 2, 3. You're out of there. So right now, let's get back to this board. Let's see what's going on the track. Verstappen laying down some purple segments to lay down some purple sectors. By the way, get your Purple Sectors Lifestyle merch. Get your Purple Sectors Lifestyle merch. Click that link. Go to the store. Order your Purple Sectors hat. Order a Purple Sectors shirt. Support the channel. Support the content. And wear a shirt that is positive and motivating about life. It's all about doing the best you can do in life. Living your best life. All right? Right there, Max Verstappen. Let's see what he does. Let's see how much more of a gap he's going to put on these drivers. Or are we going to see that this gap is going to stay very minimal within 0.3 or 0.2? If so, I'm going to have to say it. If we see that all the way through this, I'm not going to even, there could be a track situation there, but I'm going to also say these teams are coming up. McLaren and Ferrari are coming up. All right, so let's see what happens. Hamilton right now in the drop-off zone, hopefully. Albon to the top, not to the top, but in second position right now. Albon showing once again what a Williams car is capable of doing while Logan Sargent goes to the trailer, the motorhome, and he waits for us to play F123 on a weekend where Formula One isn't racing. Great job, Sargent. You're not a Sargent at all. Logan Private. I'm going to call him Starlet, call him Logan No Sargent. How about that? Ferrari boys 3 and 4, showing that they are coming on strong and they want to be here. They want to make a statement in this portion of the season. Hamilton coming out of there, out of the drop-off zone to 5th. Russell being kicked to 11th. We'll see what happens when he finishes these next 2 segments. Where will he go? Russell goes to 5th, pushes Hamilton to 6th. McLaren, what is McLaren going to do? What is Lawson going to do? Perez still showing that a ceiling for him is at 5th, unable to join the top 3. That right there may be an indictment on Perez. Let's see what he does as we go out of Q2 into Q3. Papaya, portion of Papaya is right now in the drop-off area. Pia going to the drop-off zone. Lando in 9th. Not for long. Lim Lawson joined him as well. I'm not going to make that an indictment on Lim Lawson. He's done well. He's done good, and he's brought home points. And Lim goes to 5th. Law laying the law down, going to 5th position in an AlphaTauri. Let's make this happen. Yuki going to 7th in the AlphaTauri. Let's make this happen. This right here still holds true. Qualifying sessions have been more exciting than these races have been this season. I am enjoying myself. 9 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock. Winds have decreased to 9 kilometers an hour. Track temp 36, air temp 25. Humidity ticks up another 2% to 49. Will we possibly see rain start to come? Let's go. Gasly and Ocon in the drop-off zone. Alonso in the drop-off zone. Pia, K-Mag in the drop-off zone. Hamilton up to 4th spot. And let's take note, Leclerc is only 4/10 off of Max Verstappen. Can he close that gap so we see something more reminiscent of what we saw in free practice? Let's go. Mary Beanie says, Jay, it's not the Speed Trap, it's the P-tattoo. it says right here, speed trap. But I tell you, that's in the car. This is the device used to measure the speed of F1 cars, not tell you the speed in which you're going. All right, there's a difference. That pitot tube is giving you a speed, but I tell you what, I'll do some research and split it, but either way it goes, nobody gave that answer but you. So if that is the case and we split it and we see what happens, we'll see where it is that DG Big Blue gave his answer and that you gave yours, because he gave it shortly after you. So we'll see. But it does right here say in my notes, that device used to measure the speed of an F1 car is the speed trap. And I'll tell you what, while we're sitting on here and we're going and nothing major has happened right now. Perez just joined top in second place, so that's good for him. I will just type, I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to type it in Google. The device, and you also have to keep in mind, Mary, a pitot tube is not necessarily a device more than it is a sensor, but we'll see what it says. Let's see what we got right here. See, it says, where is this right here? Sensor data, G-force pressure. How do they on cars? That's different. What is the true speed? That is not what we're looking for. Now here we go right here. A pitot measures airspeed. All right. A pitot tube used as a pressure measuring instrument used to measure fluid flow viscosity. See, so that's what I was saying. A pitot tube, especially having some knowledge in aviation, it's airspeed. It's collecting air to see how fast that car is moving through the air, not necessarily the speed of the car. Okay, those two things. So yes, DG Big Blue's answer will stand. It will be the speed trap. And just like we see right here on this board, the speed traps are giving us the speeds of these Formula One cars as they're coming through sector 1, as they're coming through sector 2, as they cross the finish line, and as they hit the speed trap. That device is giving us the speed of all these cars coming through those areas. So speed trap will stand. Pitot tube, definitely probably something for us to do a video on and kind of talk about it and the differences between these devices and how they measure, how they take their measurements. But speed trap for DG Big Blue's answer will stand. That will be the case. Electronic Cornbread says, if Liam makes it to Q3, I'm calling him the law dog from now on. I like that. I like that. If he makes it to Q3, I'm all in for the law dog. 5 minutes, 27 seconds. Let's see what happens. Right now, he is 10th on the board, okay, at that very last spot to get kicked over. If he makes it into Q3, that I'm going to have to start questioning AlphaTauri's decision on this Danny Rick thing. But if he makes it into Q3, I'm all in to call Liam Lawson the law dog. Russell and Hamilton, 8th and 9th. Ferrari boys, 6th and 7th. Perez getting booted out of that second position by the Papaya team once again, saying that they are here to stay. By the way, look at that. A 10th and a half off from Max Verstappen's pace. What is happening? What is going on? I'm going to tell you what's going on. Progress. Updates converting into upgrades. Drivers that can drive Formula One cars that are very capable of speeds being measured by the speed trap. That's what's going on. We're going to see what happens. I'm not even going to, with that, I'm not going to indict Pia or Norris in this updated McLaren car and say that they can't do it. I would be shocked and excited as hell if they do it. If I see them beat Max Verstappen out for pole, because we've seen pole positions decided by 3,000ths and even 7,000ths of a second. Could McLaren, one of the McLaren drivers, possibly be the next driver, which would be the 4th time Red Bull have been dethroned for pole position? That would be crazy. And just picture this. What's going to happen if two McLaren cars can get in front of Max? That's going to be a battle. I think then if there's no other time that Lando fights to keep a top position, it's having your competitive partner, driver, teammate with you in 1 and 2, and you all utilizing strategy to make it very difficult for Max Verstappen to make his way through. If Lando doesn't fight for that, he's not going to fight for anything. We saw him give it up last time. Gave it up. Let's see what Liam can do. Liam, right now, the law is 3 minutes outside of being dropped off. Russell and Hamilton, 9 and 10th. The Ferrari boys have been split by Albon, who is a lone wolf right now for Williams. Yuki right now in 5th, doing what Yuki does. Let's give Yuki credit. And Perez, well, Perez is where he is. He is what we thought he was. All right, this is coming down to it, people. This is coming down to it. We're in these final minutes. We know these drivers have went back into the pits, done what they need to do, made their final little adjustments, bolted on some new rubber, and now they're going to try to go back out here and close out Q2 in very competitive fashion. Right now, talking about competitive fashion, DG Big Blue has 2 points. Only needs 1 more point to close it out. Okay, only needs 1 more point to close it out. Somebody can still steal that point from him and still come back. So you could possibly go 2-2 right now with DG Big Blue if you get 2 answers faster than him, if you put your answer in faster than him. If not, he's going to have a clean sweep, 1, 2, 3, like baseball, MLB, and you're out of there. All right, let's see what Max Verstappen is going to do, how much more he will improve on this lap. Right now, looks like the McLaren car and Oscar Piastri is going to be wheeled back into the garage. We're going to see if that's just the formality to make something happen. Mary Beanie says, it's cool, Jay, no worries. Thank you very much, Mary Beanie. You know, some people can just get overly excited about a question or answer and just go crazy. Mary Beanie saying, hey, fine right there. If that's what you found, that's what you found. Definitely appreciate the sportsmanlike conduct. Oscar Piastri pulling in, other drivers pulling in, Pia over the radio. I'm going to say this right now, in this race event, there's been several radio messages that have been so-called displayed on Formula One TV, and they not displayed at all. All we see is the name, and we don't get a caption there to tell us or for other people to kind of know what's going on or what's being said. So maybe something they need to fix, but also big shout out to them bringing in that new camera view with the gimbal. We first saw it with Lewis Hamilton, I think in FP1, and that was pretty damn cool. So right here we go, 58 seconds, 57 seconds. We're under a minute. We're about to see who's not going to go into Q3. Right now, Liam Lawson, who Electronic Cornbread has deemed if he makes it into Q3 will get the nickname Law Dog. We're going to see if he's going to earn that or is that something that's not going to happen. Electronic Cornbread, if Max loses pole again, then something is up with the car or how the Red Bull team is handling setups. Or did this, resurgence of the technical directive impact Red Bull? So, Leclerc, top of the boards right now in Q2 for the pole position. Max Verstappen splitting the Ferrari boys in the middle. Will Max reclaim that pole position? 10 seconds left on the clock. Let's see if he can make it happen. The Haas just locked up, so likely there's nothing that's going to happen there, not to mention the hopping of the curve. Lewis Hamilton in third. Top 3 cars, a Ferrari, a Red Bull, and a Mercedes. This right here is getting entertaining. Q3 should give us a bit more of what we're seeing right now. The Papaya team coupled together in 5 and 6. Perez in 7th, and although 7 is a good number, it's not a good position to be right now. Qualify. Liam Lawson looking like he may have just made it in to Q3 at the very last spot. Perez going up to join Max Verstappen in 3rd. Let's go. This is looking spicy, baby. This is what we like to see. I wish we could see this in Sunday when the lights go on. Oh my gosh, Liam Lawson may not get the nickname. He just got forced out by Alonso, and Yuki moves up to 7. Yuki moves up. That is an accomplishment. Russell is in 8th. Hamilton is in 4th. Pia is in 6th. Lando's in 9th. Max Verstappen and Perez 2 and 3, while Leclerc shows up finally to a race in competitive fashion with pole position for right now. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Yo, things are heating up in this morning. It is 2:55 Eastern Standard Time, AM in the morning for me. Lim Lawson might not get that nickname, Electronic Cornbread. He might not get it. He might not get it right now. Drivers in the drop-off zone, and I don't think he's going to get it, but we're going to see. In the drop-off zone, Lawson, Gasly, Albon, Ocon, K-Mag. Really was hoping to see Albon make it into Q3, but still, Albon's done a pretty good, impressive job with this Williams car, the FW45, I believe, this season. It's been so long since the livery launches, but I think it's the FW45 that we're looking at with the new livery this weekend. Not too punchy, but it is something different. I do appreciate teams trying something different. I would like to see a yellow Ferrari one day. Let's see that. Somebody mentioned seeing a white Mercedes. I'm going to poll that. I'm going to poll that right now and ask you all, would you like to see a white Mercedes? I actually like the black Mercedes, you know, no bias. I just think black is like carbon fiber. I like to see it. All right, so right now, as it sits, there's that camera view from Lewis Hamilton. We're about to start kickback quality trivia again. Excuse me for the tongue twister. But Leclerc going out in Q2 at the top. Max Verstappen, Perez in 3. Hamilton 4. Lim Lawson does not make it into Q3. He will not get that nickname, but still very good job for Lim Lawson. 11th, very good position, just outside of the door for a point. So don't count him out to collect points tomorrow. He's right there knocking on the door. Alonso is there. That's going to be quite of a challenge to get by somebody who is very good at getting their elbows out, making that car very wide. Papaya team is in Q3. We're going to see what they're going to do with that, seeing as we saw them at the top at some point in time, both together. Leclerc coming real strong here, beating Max out right there. I mean, damn it, 2,000ths. 200ths of a second is crazy. 200ths of a second is pretty good. It's not a lot, but we've seen less determined pole position, 3,000ths and 7,000. So let's see what's going to happen here. All right. So right now, Leclerc's got it. Hamilton is in 4th. You know, a 10th down. We'll see what he can do with that, but they were already struggling with the setup before. So let's get on. We are back. We are back and live for what will probably be the final closing of Quali Kickback Trivia, okay? DG Big Blue has 2 points. If y'all let him get one more point uncontested, he's going to be the one spinning for a $50 or $25 Visa gift card for tomorrow's Lights Out race, all right, in finale lap. So here's the question. This is another easy question. It's another easy question, all right? But you're going to have to word this one right, because I'm looking for something, okay? What are the primary colors of the McLaren F1 team? What are the primary colors of the McLaren F1 team? There is a certain term, a word that I'm looking to be using there that should be in there because they use it a lot. And then the other. Now, I mean, it doesn't help that the car is there, but we know that black is not their primary colors. We know that black is not. But there's another word that starts with blue that is. And there's another one that I'm looking to see. So what are the primary colors of the McLaren F1 team? Who is going to get the $50 or $25 gift card? Who is going to be spending for this money? And everybody knows you get paid when you mess with Jay. You get paid. Who's going to get this answer right? What are the primary colors of the McLaren F1 team? Primary colors of the McLaren F1 team. Somebody give me that. Oof, 81% of people are saying no. Somebody put the answer in the chat, but didn't do it by super chat, gave you all the answer. We're just looking to see who's going to collect that. Who's going to collect that freebie they just gave you? All right. What are the primary colors of the McLaren F1 team? Primary colors. DG Big Blue, you want to close it out? Have your opportunity to spend for $50, $25 gift card, or is somebody going to give him competition? Or are we about to slide this kickback quality trivia all the way into Q3 as Lim Lawson didn't, but still salute to him. What are the primary colors of the McLaren F1 team? We already know one of those colors. Well, I'm not going to even say it because somebody gave you all the answer in the chat. They just didn't do it correctly to collect the points. I'm trying to tell you. Galacticus is telling you right there how to get that money. Galacticus, big shout out. Galacticus joined us earlier this morning. Rayanne joined us. Insured Frames joined us. Musa in the chat. What's up? I'm surprised Musa not getting in on that. I'm surprised Musa's not getting in on that. Let's see. DG Big Blue, you're missing colors. It's got to be 2 colors. You got one right. You're missing one more color. You're missing one more color. Papaya is exactly the term of the word that I was going to look for. There's one other color. Papaya and what? Papaya, orange, and blue. Electronic cornbread slips in while DJ Big Blue slips up. That is the correct answer. Papaya, orange, and blue. Cornbread is on the board for 1. He is going to make DG Big Blue work. Black is not a primary color. It is a color they're running now because they're trying to save weight. So you see the black, but their primary colors are papaya, orange, and blue. DG Big Blue, Cornbread said he's about to make you work, bro. As we see, the clock has been reset, but there are no cars on track. We are going to continue this right now. Let's go and let's see who can close this out. DG Big Blue, all you got to get is one more. You just got to get one more. Okay, this is going to be a difficult one. This is going to be a difficult one. All right. Matter of fact, I'm going to just make this an easy one because it's in the morning. We got Q3 coming up. Which F1 constructor is based in Milton Keynes, England, and has won 4 consecutive constructor championships from 2010 to 2013? I'm going to read the question again. It doesn't get any easier than this one. Which F1 constructor is based in Milton Keynes, England, and has won 4 consecutive constructor championships from 2010 to 2013? Who is it? Come on, let's go. Who we got? Who we got on the board for this? This one's a gimme. I'm giving you an easy question because it's too early. I said, it's early. People probably haven't had their coffee, cappuccino, their Monster energy drinks. They're going to need some questions that are going to be a little bit more forgiving. Right here, we see Insured Frames gets into the mix. It is Oracle. Red Bull Racing fully lays it out. Insured Frames is in the mix for this $50. DG Big Blue, come on, bro. You got to be faster than that. Let's go. Oh, my gosh. DG Big Blue, you just need one now. Cornbread and Insured Frames are on the board with 1 point each. DG Big Blue leads them by only 1 point because he's got 2. Here is the next question, and this is another easy one. This is another easy one. Here's an easy question. Which circuit was built on reclaimed land in the Tokyo Bay area and is known for its unique figured 8 layout? Come on. Come on, people. This is a gimme. I will read it again. DG Big Blue, they making you work, bro. Which circuit was built on reclaimed land in the Tokyo Bay area and is known for its unique figure 8 layout? That's too easy. I'm making it easy for y'all this morning. That's too easy. Come on. Where are we this weekend? Come on now. Come on now. Y'all got people. Mary Beanie's even getting in the mix. Cornbread, Mary Beanie, Insured Frames told DG Big Blue, we're not. Oh my gosh. Insured Frames has tied it up 2-2 with DG Big Blue. Insured Frames, DG Big Blue only need 1 more point each to close this thing out. And yes, it is the Suzuka circuit. Oh my gosh. Who is going to win the opportunity for a 50? Cornbread comes in just late. Right now, we see Max Verstappen at the top, Perez in second, Lewis Hamilton in third. That's looking good. Will we see the Ferrari boys come out of there and do something more to go ahead and lay down and see who's going to get this pole position? Right now, I'm going to ask another question to see who's going to win quality kickback trivia. DG Big Blue has 2 points. Insured Frame has 2 points. Cornbread has 1 point. Mary Beanie is in the hunt for her first point. Let's make this happen. I'm going to give you a question, and you're going to have to think about a little bit for this one. Here we go. Who was the first driver to win back-to-back Formula One World Championships, and what year were they won? The first driver to win back-to-back Formula One championships, and what years was this done in? Give me the driver and the 2 years that were back-to-back. Now, we already know, don't give me nothing like 55 and 57. That ain't back-to-back, okay? Just kind of help you. Don't make the easy mistake. Who was the first driver to win back-to-back championships, and what 2 years consecutively did they win these championships? I'm not going to lie to you. This is almost a Mary Beanie round question, because we know Mary takes a lot of notes. We know she has a long time knowledge of Formula One. I don't even count DG Big Blue or Insured Frames out. You really can't count any of you out. But I know Mary Beanie, she's been in this game for a long time, longer than any of us. She likely might come up with this answer. But no, it is not Manuel Fangio. No, somebody did it before Fangio. Insured Frames, good job, but somebody did it before Fangio, and 2 years before that. 2 years before that, somebody else did it. Very good one, though. Insured Frames is getting in the book. Are y'all going to let him steal this? Because he could come back and correct the wrong answer. Which driver was the first to do it back-to-back, and what 2 years were these? I will tell you right now. I'm going to give you a clue. The 2 years are 52 and 53. 1952 and 1953. You still need to put that in your answer, but now give me the driver along with 1952 and 19... Boom! Insured Frames closes it out. It is Alberto Ascari, 1952, 1953, first Formula One driver to win back-to-back championships. Insured Frames just proves what I told you all earlier. You can come from out of nowhere and still collect these points to close it out. It looks so much like DG Big Blue was going to close it out. 3 strikes, you're out. Insured Frames comes along and says, I want some of that money. Insured Frames, congratulations. I'm writing your name down. I'm going to get my sticky note right here so I don't knock my screen off. Going to get my sticky note. You will be spinning on Sunday during Finale Lap for your $50 or your $25 gift card. The wheel will decide. And that is not a wheel pun. Will, I wish you were here. The Michael Schumacher 94-95 cornbread, good one, but definitely not the answer. A decade off from there. So Insured Frames is spinning. Good job, Insured Frames. Right now, they are in the garage. 5-6 minutes left for the rest of quali. We will see who's going to get pole position. Right now, Max sitting strongly out in front. 4/10 from the McLaren crew. All right, we're going to see what happens. Insured Frames, make sure you are here on quali on the finale lap so you can see how much money you are going to win via the wheel. Congratulations on winning. I think this is your first win in Quali Kickback Trivia, so congratulations on that as well. DG Big Blue was working on it, just didn't get there. So I got you right here on the sticky note. I'm going to put it right here on my keyboard. We will be spinning that wheel to see how much money Wolfpack J will be sending you. Big shout out for that, so we can put the rest of those questions off. I'll get those questions off of that sheet. We'll get more new questions on there to see who might win the opportunity to spin for $50, $25 gift card. Let's get back to this board and see what's going on in the world of Q3 quali. Right now, looking at George Russell making his way through that little S section. Hamilton is in 5th. Perez separates himself again in 4th. Papaya team collect 2 and 3 again, but will they hold it by the end of this? Right now, winds have decreased back down to 10. At one point in time, they were 50 kilometers an hour due west. Track temp is 34 Celsius. Air temp is 25. Humidity still kind of sticking up there at 47. Still no chance of rain. Usually you see 40%. It's kind of like maybe somewhere, but not here. If we see 60, 50, 60%, might get some rain clouds in the area. Alonso working to try to do as much as he can for Aston Martin. The Ferrari boys down at the bottom now in 9th and 10th. Hopefully this is not what we're seeing as the 12th hour, and the pumpkin indeed has returned from that nice crystal carousel that once carried Cinderella to that ball. Hopefully this is not the case with Ferrari. That would be just hideous to see. I really want to see them continue to just stay up there, but hey, they got to do it. I can't do it for them. So right here, thank you all again for joining us. It is 3:10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have been here with you since about 1:45 Eastern Standard Time in the morning. Russell climbing up to fourth position, not in the top three, not going to be in the pit lane and behind one of those nice boards and celebrate and take that picture. Definitely not going to get an autograph trigger. It said, DG Big Blue, I missed the question because I was in the he was in the head. Congratulations to everyone involved in the quality kickback. Jay, as always, go Navy. Hoorah. Big shout out to DG Big Blue in the head trying to take care of himself. I feel you on that, my brother. Trust that. It's been plenty of times I've been here on like live and needed to go and just held it, just gutted it out and say, hey, I'm going to have to do this shit later. I got to stick with my fam and the crew. So right now, nothing really changing. Papaya is sitting 2 and 3. Max Verstappen has returned to the position in which he has been in. We're going to see pit out. The Ferraris are getting ready to come out. Let's see what kind of changes they've made. And let's see if the Ferrari team can go ahead and debunk Max Verstappen from pole position, or will Max Verstappen hold true to the strength that he's obtained from that RB19, the strongest and most dominant car that most of us have probably seen in the history of Formula One, and holds on to pole position, returning to true form since Singapore, right here at Suzuka. Also where they can claim the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull. So that will also be an accolade and something to be very well celebrated while they're here kind of at a home race for their power unit supplier. And definitely Insure Frames commentator said Max used old sauce for Q2. Okay. Well, if he used old softs, hey, if he's got new softs on, we definitely probably should see a bit better track lap time there. So indeed that could be, but you know, depending on how used those softs were, like Aston Martin likes to scrub off their tires, might not be too much of a difference, but still can be a difference depending on how many laps they had on them and all of that good stuff. So I'm not going to say and credit that. Galacticus Insure Frames, you got the juice. Congrats, fam. He do got the juice. He do. Galacticus Insure Frames, you got the juice. Congrats. Big congrats coming from Galacticus as well. Big shout out to Insure Frames for winning that. We're going to spend on Sunday and see how much money he going to get. All right, right now, Leclerc does not even come out of that ninth spot. But then keep in mind, just getting out on track, trying to get those tires in the operational temp. Right now, Max Verstappen laying down some purple segments to hopefully collect a purple sector, which is the lifestyle. We'll see what, he does collect a purple sector in sector 1. Let's see what he does in sector 2 going into that. Right now, purple segments, he's on a roll. He's on a roll. I mean, can't say that that's not something that we're not accustomed to seeing. At least Mercedes is kind of there, Rail. Perez, Alonso, you know, kind of floating around there. That should be a nice little battle to watch right there. Hamilton, Alonso, always something to watch. Perez is definitely going to try to attack Russell, and Russell right behind Lando again. Seeing what happened to him last time he was behind Lando, he ended up in the wall, followed the gap, went for the gap, and got the gap right there in the gap of the wall in Singapore Grand Prix. So congratulations, you played yourself, Russell, very bad then. So yeah, it wasn't a very good situation for you. But right now, looking at these times, we're going to see what happens. Ferrari right now should be on their outlap, going ahead and starting to push that pace. Let's see what Leclerc can do. He's leading right now on Carlos, so we'll see what Sainz does following Leclerc very shortly. Following Leclerc, Max Verstappen is oh my gosh, 1:28.87 second. Oh my gosh, a new lap, fastest lap, purple sectors all the way through for Max Verstappen. Those old soft tires may have been it. I mean, just enough to get that time off. Oh my goodness. 1:28. That is going to be a tall mountain to overcome right now in today's Formula One era. Can the Ferrari boys do it? They are set. Oh my gosh, no. 6/10 off, 9/10 off from nah. The closest person is Pia. 5/10 off. Oh my gosh. Monstrous lap right there from Max Verstappen. Monstrous lap. Yuki right now is 7th, Ham in 10th. Can't go any lower than that right now. The clock has closed out. Max Verstappen likely has pole position. Bloody time delay. I don't Google. Hey, I heard that. I got it and I don't Google. I like that right off the dome freestyle from Mary Beanie. Definitely salute you on that. Oh my goodness, man. Damn. That was a monster lap. Monster lap. Jeez Louise. Damn. At once that time being right there, and now 5/10 is just a lot to try to cover up. Oscar, though, on the front row. Big shout out to Oscar Piastri. Rookie to me, rookie of the year right now. A good case, rookie of the year. Only person that could debunk rookie of the year right now is Liam Lawson if he comes in and collects more points in the AlphaTauri, which is by far a inferior car compared to the McLaren. He will be doing in himself some justice for more accolades to his resume to pick up a pretty nice contract from a better performing team if there is one. Williams, maybe you wouldn't say they were, but I would say they are. And maybe Aston Martin, but I don't think Lawrence, comes to his senses. So right now, this is what you have. This is your grid order for the time being until we get the official grid order or the official classification. Max Verstappen, pole position again. Pia, congratulations. Right there, my rookie on the front row. Lando in the other McLaren car, they did hold true to what they did in FP3, locking down the second and the third spot. Can they continue that on in the race and have a double podium, which will be Pia's first podium in this Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka? Can they do it? We're going to be watching to see if that's the case. Ferrari is no doubt going to be in the hunt, not far behind them. Mercedes, we know they're going to be in the hunt, but they are that second gap. That's a lot. And they got a lot to go through. You got to go through Sainz, which he's proven his racecraft phenomenal in Singapore by bringing Lando into the fold. Then you got Perez. Not really concerned about Perez. He's losing that Minister of Defense title every race we see him. Leclerc, definitely got to be concerned about him. And then you have to go through the Papaya group. We already saw in Singapore that was very difficult with Russell leading the charge. It could be different if Hamilton is leading the charge and they get up there to where the Papaya team is. We could quite possibly see that. So you can't count Mercedes out for a podium hunt, even in 7th and 8th. Perez may fall victim to them. Ferrari may fall victim to them. Sainz has not done considerably well here as he did in Singapore. That will give us evidence to say that he's going to double up on that, but we're still not going to count him out. Leclerc is in the hunt to make something happen to get his mojo back as he's been very lackluster. So Yuki, congratulations, doing it again for AlphaTauri in the 9th position. If he can retain that in the race, he will grab more points and just further substantiate why AlphaTauri will need to keep him around. And I don't see Yuki going anywhere else. I don't think there's another team saying that, we got to have Yuki. But Yuki is making a strong case for himself. If AlphaTauri give him a better car and he improves up on that in 2024, maybe we see something happen there. But yeah, Alonso, you're by yourself. Lawrence is not going to help you by putting another driver in that car so that you can run a good strategy. Alonso is more often than not by himself in the grid and nothing happens there. So this is quali. It is 3:18 Eastern Standard Time. I am up with you for the Suzuka Japanese Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton has the latest helmet. Right now, you see Max Verstappen is your pole position sitter. The Papaya team in 2 and 3, we want to see if they're going to lock that down in the race. The Ferrari boys still have a lot to prove. Can they continue proving what they should prove going forward for the rest of the season? Mercedes, everybody's looking to see what they're going to do throughout the rest of the season. Can they go ahead and be competitive in the Constructors' Championship? Lewis Hamilton at one point in time claiming that he was going to be hunting Perez down for second in the Drivers' Championship. A lot of things, a lot of questions to be answered, but I can tell you this right now. We will be in Discord later on today. I will set that up so we can all get in. It will be later on, late in the afternoon, early evening, so we can all try to get on, get our UK fam, our South African fam, our United States fam all over the world, all right? So listen, this is Jay from Wolfpack Performance. This has been another extremely exciting qualification with you. Electronic Cornbread trying to catch me off guard with a super chat telling y'all Pia is a future champion in the making. He's gonna give Lando fits in the years to come unless Lando runs to Red Bull to cuddle up with Max. Oh my gosh, Cornbread, bro, you are ridiculously funny. I didn't see that last statement coming, and that's the way you close off a live stream. I will see you all soon. Peace, be safe. Wolfpack out. Peace.